Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Taiwan Internet Governance Forum. We'll now proceed to the panel session number 10. In this session, we're going to discuss how do we ensure the network is resilient, lessons with cases in Japan. The moderator for the session is Mr. Kuo-Wei Wu, Chairman of TWIGF. And joining us, please let me introduce Mr. Kazuhiro Kitamura, Chairperson of Mobile Department of JAIPA. Mr. Yoshihiro Obata, Senior Director of JAIPA. And Mr. Koji Yasukagawa, Vice Chair of Mobile Department of JAIPA. I'll now hand the floor to the moderator, Mr. Wu.
Yep, okay. Thank you very much for my Japanese friend. The first of all I have to say is they are really very good friend to the TWIGF. I believe they came the TWIGF is more than 4 or 5 times, even including the COVID-19 last year. They also fly to Taiwan to participate in the TWIGF. And last year they actually talking about is some kind of the issue. For example, the database of the line is located in the Alibaba cloud, and a very interesting topic. And this year, I think they are trying to talking about the internet resilience, and they are using the real case, to present how the Japanese, the internet, the resilience they are doing, And so I think this is a great panel, and so I think it's and interesting is as I heard, we already have 20-some plus people online. So how we go from here to there or from there to here? Obata, what do you suggest?
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So let's welcome the Obata-san to give a talk first.
Yeah.
Yep, please.
Briefly, so the.
Oh, here, sorry.
This one? This one, okay.
No? Oh, yeah.
あ、そっか、JAIPA。JAIPA? We are JAIPA. We are JAIPA, yeah. So JAIPA is Japan Internet Providers Association. So we consist of almost 150 ISP, XSP, like cloud service provider, and telecom operator vendor. So it's a very large scope related to the internet. So, but in Japan, there are a variety of ISP, not only the telecom carriers, but also some cable providers, and dedicated to the local ISP, just provided for the local people. And so we established in 1999. So in Japan, the internet service first launched maybe it's 1994 or 5, something like that. So 5 years, almost 5 years later, started the ISP business. JAIPA is established. So we have many activities with the members. So, like we discuss about internet technology contents. So it's for example, so there was a very a lot of discussion about child exploitation. It's almost 10 years ago, so we are very deep discussion about how whether we will do the blocking for the child pornography. So, but it is only one blocking for child pornography. No pirate site, no copyright, but only child pornography in Japan. We block using the DNS technology. So there are many policies going in Japan, like, for example, there are many bad guys using the internet. So police or government police agency ask ISP, who is the yes. So it's a procedure for disclose the information to the ISP. So, but it takes very long time to identify the IP address and who is doing the bad thing. So there starts a short version of the process. It's not a code, so it's a simple version. So that's one of the discussion in our JAIPA. Okay, so this is the introduction of JAIPA. So next, please.
Okay. Thank you. So today we would like to focus on the middle part, which is the core network, the system, mainly for the mobile network and the fixed internet. So this is, we want to talk about 2 case studies related to the core network or system resilience. Kitamura-san will explain one, and then Yasukagawa-san will explain another. After each of them, we'll have a very short questionnaire. And then I would like to lead the discussion after the 2 case studies are explained. What we would like to present today is that what we think the purpose of the resilience is to secure accessibility to the internet under any unfavorable situation. Basically, today we'll talk about system failure issues, but they are very similar to disaster issues and also some like war issues. Okay.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about case number 1. It's about internet root leakage. So this BGP root incident almost disrupted the internet in Japan. So it's a very big event. So this is a related party in the this outage. So this is a normal case. So the left-hand side entity com, it's a number 1 top share ISP in Japan. So more than 8 million subscriber. So they have AS number 4713. So they usually communicate but OCN have a relation with peering with Google at Osaka. So it's just a traffic exchange related to Google and the ocean. So it's not related to most of the traffic in the ocean. So August 25th in 2017, this event have happened. This is the this caused by the Google. So entity command Google have a peering relation in Japan, but Google in US leak some fragmented route, specific route in the US to Verizon. So it's not a related route of the ocean, but also other route around the world. So in total, Google leaked about more than 50,000 route, specific route to Verizon, and almost half of them from the route of the ocean. So, but this is just 10 seconds or 20 seconds. The Google misconfigured this route leakage, but they noticed automatically and recover automatically. So its duration is almost less than 1 minute. But so next, so leaked route is so Verizon is a transit provider of the Google in United States. So Verizon have also a customer like ISP A in Japan and ISP B in US, something like that. So leaked route is also transferred to these ISPs because Verizon did not filter this lot of route information. So the route, very many route information is transferred to ISP. So one of the ISP is in Japan. So this causes the traffic. So traffic is directed to ocean is directed to ISP A. And this is going to, this traffic went to US and back to Google. So it's a very, very long delay to the internet users of the entity communications. So this happens, so traffic have a very long round trip time, and also Google cannot handle all traffic to the ocean. So almost 20% traffic is decreased at that time. So 20% traffic is round to US, not directly to ocean. So it continued about few hours. So ocean is a market share #1 ISP, and ISP A in Japan also affected this event because many traffic, so 20% of traffic is went to ISP A. So it's like DOS attack. So they affect also. So ISP A is a very big ISP. So all many ISP people ISP users in Japan are affected this event. So just several minutes, several seconds leakage from Google affects the whole internet in Japan. So that's a big issue. That was a big issue. So, so the one of the solution for this kind of event is ROA. So it's a root origin authorization technology. So it's not a complete solution, but it's the one of the solution. So this is the APNIC data, which shows the how it's a penetration rate, how much they install the ROA. So you can find major United States is very low, but some countries in South America, Middle East, APAC region, except China and Japan, also low. But Taiwan is very high. So if we, when I look into detail for Taiwan case, so Taiwan, it's more than 80% penetration of the ROA information. Comparing to this, in Japan, it's increasing recently, but still about less than 70%. So it's growing, but not enough compared with Taiwan. So what do we learn from this event? So ROA is an effective method for BGP leakage. So it's a very technical people already know this information. But we need a collaboration. So if NTT.com publishes the ROA, but Verizon do not verify the ROA information, so the route information do not filtered in Verizon. So setting the ROA and verified the ROA information, both are needed for prevent this event. So we need a collaboration between creation side and validation side. So if one of the two party very hard work, doing hard work, it's not necessary. It's not I can say it's not sufficient. So I'd like to discuss with you about how we promote this kind of technology in the global internet. So in the global map, there are not so many countries using RO information. So maybe government enforce the implementation or voluntary effort by operators. But so it is one of the discussion point, I think. But we may set some target. For example, 80% by 2030, something like that. Is needed, I think, like IPv6. And the second point is we cannot completely protect this kind of leakage. So if this kind of event happened, immediate action of detect the route leakage and the action to stop them is required. So this is the second point. And from the regulator in Japan, in Japan's case, it's MICT. In this case, there are many things to be learned because there are many related parties in this event. So the affected, entity comms service is very affected by the event. So if this outage is caused by entity com, they have an obligation to report to MICT. But in this case, their customers have a very big impact by this event, but this event was not caused by entity com. So they do not have obligation to report MICT. So who reports to MICT? No one reports to MICT. So in that case, MICT didn't know what happened. But on the media, internet in Japan is now many people can use the internet, but no one reported the event to the MICT. So that is one thing. And also, second thing is the cause is this event is Google in US. Mm-hmm. So this is out of scope from the point of MICT. Yeah. So if this provider is in Japan, they, how can I say, they forced to stop it or some require them some report to the provider, but the cause is in the United States. So because internet is global, one net, so it's not necessary to Japanese event in Japan is caused by Japanese operators. So if we happened in the outside Japan, how we prevent, not prevent, how we discuss the, this kind of event for never stop this kind of things. So this is the first case.
So we can discuss.
Can I ask a little bit loads of question?
Yeah.
The reason I want to stop that is because actually in this audience we have a government people over here, and we also have a Zhonghua Telco people here. You know, don't run away. I'm asking the similar question. If that is a BGP leak, if the BGP leaking in Taiwan, and is a government, how are you going to do it? Or you are just ask Zhonghua Telco do it? Because the Zhonghua Telco is quite dominant,
Okay. Anyway.
Oh, wait
government.
a minute. Before that,
yeah.
I asked the audience here, how many of you know what is called BGP table? BGP. Zhonghua Telco, you know that, right? Come on, raise your hand. Okay. Yeah, okay, please.
First of all the routers locate in the ISP side. So as a government, we can't directly control the router. That's the first point. And the second point is, as the Mr. has said, that in the Japanese case, the real suspect is outside outside Japan.
So not your business.
No, 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 no. It's we cannot decide who should be responsible because we can control the ISP in Taiwan, not in the world. Yeah. So I think we have to solve this problem. Yeah, but not in someone's responsibility.
Okay.
Okay, I point to Zhonghua and say, this is your responsibility. That's not right. That's wrong. Okay, and I think the best way to solve this is the cooperation of all the ISP in Taiwan. Yeah.
But the problem is leaking is from outside.
I think maybe.
This he talking about the Google. Google is in the USA, right?
Yeah.
What about the Verizon in Japan or in USA too?
Yeah.
Oh,
If they keep on causing trouble like this, I think we can ask all the ISPs, take them as an untrustable BGP sender. Okay?
Well, okay.
If they keep on
Well,
doing such a thing,
if this is a small case because they only few seconds, right?
no.
Because you look, let me tell you one story. There are actually a BGP
final-
people leaking to the China, right? For 15 minutes. 15 minutes, all the U.S. Information go to China for 15 minutes and coming out.
But as I know the case in Japan, the effect, I'm not saying they find the error and fix it quickly, but the true effect keep on, I think, half a day or 1 day, 24 hours.
Okay.
It's not, if something wrong in routing tables, it takes a lot of time to recover to normal state. Even you fix your error.
Okay.
They need a lot of time to export to all the routers.
Okay. I try to ask the Zhonghua Telco. Lin Jinjie, can you explain in the case how the Zhonghua Telco going to take care of? Unfortunately, I know most of the people in Taiwan.
This is Jason from
Yeah.
Telecom. And I have to confess that I'm actually from the DNS team. So, but I do know that the backbone team of my colleagues are constantly keep in touch with the other organizations and other networks. So they have some hotline, I think. So in cases of abnormal situation, they will make contacts with the related groups.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So that is the reason why the Zhonghua Telco is a reliable one. Of course, because I'm the board member of the Zhonghua Telco before, not now. Thank you. Sorry, let's keep going on. Oh, you want to, now the government want to respond.
I stand for myself. Okay. I have a comment. ROA maybe ROA is a solution that can mitigate, not solve this problem. But even with ROA, we can expect that there will be some countries that won't use ROA. Because that will stop some of their intention to do something. I think this problem could be mapped back to the fragmentation of the internet. If you want to keep your internet resilient enough, do not have strange behavior, then maybe finally we should face the choice if we want to fragment the internet. That's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry to stop you, Obata. Go ahead.
So before we go to the next case study, where we can, and after, sorry, and before we discuss this issue in the last part, I think I can follow up some technical issues here, okay? So the real, one of the big technical issue here was not really clear in this picture. One of the really big technical issue was actually, a lot of people know that this ISP-A is KDDI, okay? And then, so they used Verizon as a transit to US operators, US ISPs. But anyway, so that was not the problem. So KDDI did not filter routes coming from Verizon. So they were not acting on ROA, firstly. But even if they were, they had another issue. So this really happened in a very bad timing in 2017, when they have not fully upgraded their core routers. So it's about the time when the IPv4 and v6 routes were starting to, were already expanding so high, or how do you say, the numbers were expanding so much that a lot of people were struggling to upgrade the core routers because the core routers could not handle large number of routes, okay? So a lot of routers in KDDI at this stage were nearly full, you know. And then at that time, 24,000 routes came in additionally, okay? So, of course, most of the routers in the countryside, the core routers, like Hokkaido or whatever, completely were crashed because of the route information coming from Tokyo, okay? And because they overflew the router's routing information, you cannot recover that. Yep. You know, there is no standard recovery. And of course, you need to find that out, what's happening. It's very difficult to find out when, what happens when a core router overflows its routing table. So it took time for them to find it out. And then the next issue is how to recover. So to recover a crashed routing table, the only thing you can do is to reset everything. And then propagate all the information from scratch, okay? So for that, because of that, it took a long, long time. And because it's KDDI, of course, they had large customers like banks or whatever, which means that the ATM do not function, or if you go to the convenience store, the register are not functioning. So all these things happened to a lot of the infrastructure side. So this is really the technical issue that they had. But I think later we can discuss more of the regulatory issue or the resilience issues. Okay.
So the last question for this case. So is Japan try to talk in this, for example, in the IETF, or is any global BGP association, the people can talking about it to enhance?
I don't think so. So I think we can talk about this in more of the, how do you say, the regulatory or operational discussion. So I don't think we don't have yet any framework to cope with these kind of issues. So that is the largest issue. You know? So, okay, so let's go to the next one, which is a more serious one.
Hello everyone. So I would like, my name is Koji. I would like to introduce show you the case 2. This is also happening in Japan, and we want to discuss about the how to improve the network quality or something. I'm not a KDDI guy, so I would try to explain about the major trouble in the KDDI mobile, not internet side, mobile core networks trouble in 2022. The July 2022, the Japanese society faced lots of trouble because of the KDDI mobile core network outage. That you can see on the slide, the duration of the outage time is 61 hours. It's over 2 days, right? And affected users, impacted users are, of course, that so big, 23 million, over the 23 million users are affected. They cannot use the internet, they cannot make a call, they cannot make an emergency call as well, of course. Because the subscriber users cannot connect, even the KDDI users that cannot connect to the KDDI network. The why is that the trouble was happening is that just one of the minor network maintenance. The KDDI, the network side, not mobile side, network side make a small maintenance to change something equipment, but something happened, and that trouble loses 50% of the traffic through the mobile terminal to the location database. What the 50% packet, the traffic losses to the location database, what's the meaning about this is the mobile terminal cannot cannot connect the KDDI network. In the case of the situation, the mobile terminal resend the connect request again. The 50% of the packet are almost the packet losses, making a lot of the resending request for the location database. Then location database cannot accept all of the request. That means that let's say that floating. The request floating cannot keep, and the floating is the rapidly growing the traffic because of even the terminal send lots of floating packet resending update request, but even that situation, the core network cannot accept that packet. So why we can imagine that why the outage time duration was so long is the root cause is the location database cannot accept the lots of requests at once. So what the KDDI did is they shut lots of terminal once, and gradually they accept the connecting request for gradually. Then that's the duration time. It means the trouble occurred until everyone who wants to use that mobile network connected. So this is the kind. One is we can see what's happening on the other side is emergency calling traffic down minus 63% compared to the previous week. But by the way, the public phone, the emergency calling by a public phone that increased at 20% of compared to the previous week. So it means that makes it so big discussion for the regulatory field, because citizens couldn't make a call for the police, the ambulance, the fire stations. These trouble. So of course the governments made agreed, and so the order to sort out the situation. We discussed a lot of things that not only the KDDI, all operators are involved, and we discussed about how to solve the fundamental issues like this, because it can be, we see the big impact for the society here. But on the situation, on the case, so we understand centralized and stateful network. That's a mobile network. Is internet is more distributed or autonomous, but mobile is almost everything is centralized because the mobile network needs to control the customer's location. We need to keep the traffic, even the customer is moving. So we understand the centralized stateful network as mobile network resilience. It's weak than internet, we can say. In the case, the government asked the operators, hey, you should have the roaming each other's. If the KDDI outage, the SoftBank and NTT Docomo accepted it, the KDDI's rules. Of course, SoftBank, if SoftBank making an outage, the SoftBank users should be rescued by the NTT or KDDI's others. But the even the three major operators say that maybe everyone can understand this makes another trouble. You know, once KDDI make an outage, the KDDI users try to connect to the SoftBank at once. The SoftBank making down. Yep. SoftBank making down. Yep. The SoftBank user, KDDI users going to the NTT Docomo to connect. NTT Docomo is going down. Yep. 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 That's the leading another problem. Of course, every mobile operator increase the capacity to accept all of the Japanese mobile customers. That makes it so cost. This is not efficient and this is not realistic. Number three, this is also the discussing of between the government side and the operator side. Government, of course, everyone, the newspapers, government say, hey, you don't have any trouble. Yes, we want, but this is actually difficult, very difficult. Of course, there are many, all over the Japanese mobile operator have lots of the obligation to prevent the trouble or something on the technical side as well, on the management, on the something, everything's. But even those situations that network equipment will be broken, may be broken sometimes, happenly. So that the trouble, the outage, let's say we can say uncontrollable. So then the solution in Japan today is operator sell 2 SIM cards to each user. Yeah, this is seems kidding, but it's real. Now today, SoftBank is selling to their customer their SIM card, also the KDDI SIM card as well as a backup. KDDI also, the KDDI is selling to the SIM card, KDDI SIM card, and also the SoftBank SIM card as a backup. This is a solution to meet the government's requirement. But actually, this is a quite realistic solution because in that case, the user has a SoftBank SIM card and also KDDI SIM card. Then the SoftBank and the KDDI can recognize how many numbers the users here. To reflect the capacity planning, network planning as well. Okay, that's the situation we are trying to say. Okay. Okay. Any questions?
Okay. Well, this is a very interesting question. My first question actually to my panelists or the Japanese friend is Japan. I think some of you go to the ICANN meeting. Do you know ICANN have a RSSC? You know, the Security Stability Committee. They actually I don't know, they deal with a loose server, but I don't know they deal with a BGP table or not. That I'm not quite sure. Because of the BGP leaking on that case, Japan is not the only one. Everybody knows that. It's happened all the different places, you know, because the BGP leaking sometimes it's by accident. So it's a tough one. The second one is the Koji mentioned about. That's really, really interesting because such as talking about, you know, so-called roaming to the different carrier. You know, this is kind of strange. I think every carrier they knew it's looked like the previous 2 days in this conference hall. The people say why the internet get down and up and down and up. You know, let me explain very simple. It's kind of similar. Well, make it much simple to be understand. The internet connection or Wi-Fi connection or whatever connection, you always have a session limit. You always have a bandwidth limit. So if an operator do not have enough session, enough bandwidth, and you allow more and more people connect, they eventually will be crashed, you know, down again. So it's the same thing like Koji mentioned about. If a KDDI is have a trouble, if you roaming to SoftBank, let's mean certainly you push a lot of a KDDI user. The session and also the bandwidth go to the SoftBank. But the SoftBank, they have an estimation, you know, a certain session and certain bandwidth. And certainly if you have a 40%, 50% come in, for the telco or mobile or carrier, it's very difficult to handle that because it's impossible for any carrier. You know, if I have a customer 10 million and you ask me to provide 20 million people to connect at the same time, or if I usually only have a 200 gigabits or 1 terabits, and certainly 2 terabits coming, that is making trouble. So it's good as government people here don't make a stupid suggestion. Yeah, please.
Yeah, let me clarify this issue, okay? So as Koji explained, the issue was not the network. The issue was this location database.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And when you connect or actually turn on a mobile phone, you're always registered in the location database wherever you are. But because the connection to the location database were seeing 50% packet loss, it means that firstly it will overflow the requests to the location database, because it means that most of the things cannot finish its process, which means that you need to, I think the retry ratio is nearly 100%, okay, or even more. It's like 300, 400%. And because of that, unfortunately, this location database is just a computer. Yeah. And what happened with this huge number of requests was it corrupted the database itself, which means that the relationship between the customer data and the terminal data were corrupted. So it means that after these huge number of retries, whatever you do, it will not finish because the data is wrong. Okay, so that's why they need to really reset everything and recover the customer data first, and slowly connect all the devices one by one, which took, I think, around 8 hours. Okay, but to make that decision, it took nearly 2 days. Okay, so that was the real issue. But if you have this kind of dual SIM in every, like in most of the phones, it means that they are already attached to the network. Okay, so even if there's something bad happens in KDDI, you can easily switch to SoftBank, other than the IP network, you know, because the location database will record once the SIM card is inside the phone where you are. But it doesn't mean that you have an IP address and you connect to the internet. That's why if you see the phone, then it says that which data network you want to use, which SIM card you want to use for data. And that means that which network you are connected to. So, of course, if something very bad happens and then a lot of people try to attach to the IP network, that may cause some really flooding issues. But other than that, it's much better than this one, because this one is a phone network, and which were...
But also it's very weird that they give the 2 SIM card to every user. It's also very strange.
Yeah, but that was actually after a lot of discussion on what can we do. And of course, KDDI need to, you know, how do you say, announce in public how they can prevent the problem. But of course, they have no solution how they can solve the problem. Okay, there's no solution. Okay, so because of that, finally, there was some discussion about roaming, whether we can save this issue by roaming, which is even tougher. So I think finally the kind of public opinion was that, okay, for people who don't want outage, you need to buy 2 SIM cards. Okay, so that was the conclusion. And then because of that kind of, you know, really, how do you say?
So when they get a 2 SIM card, have a discount?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have a discount on the second SIM card. So that was how SoftBank and KDDI agreed. But okay, Docomo did not join. Okay, and I think around this time I had a discussion with the Docomo executive, and he said that this kind of database corruption will never happen in Docomo because we have tested so many things. But in fact, a few years later, it happened in a different way in Docomo. So they had a nearly similar issue of a network between the location database thing, but in this time it was not a hardware or configuration failure. They could not detect that one circuit was not functioning. But anyway, so I think we can go into the discussion part if
please go ahead.
There's no more question. So
by the way, if anybody have a question, there is a microphone there. It's a welcome you, and just go there and stand there. You know, when we finish, we'll open up for your question. Please.
Yeah. So what we can learn from these 2 issues is that there are basically 2 things that we need to do. One is, of course, operators by themselves have to improve their operation. So network robustness, operation quality, cooperation with other operators. But even here we have challenges. Okay, we can discuss the challenges later. And then the other side, you know, is that the operators and government has to communicate with the users. In cases where there is no way to improve the operation or no way to improve the network, so the last resort is the user has to do something. But to make the user do something, you need a risk communication from the, from the industry with the users. So this part, like you should buy 2 SIM cards if you're really serious, or these kind of things. This is also tough because there's no way to kind of force people to do something. And then, so there's another challenge on this side. So I think what we can firstly discuss on the left-hand side is how can we, the operators, improve their quality, okay? And I think we also have a generation issue. You know, most of the people who worked to start the internet, you know, when the operation was very lousy, the hardware was very lousy, are now gone, you know. So they're retired, okay? So the new guys coming in know that reliable hardware, reliable operation, but what happens in a disaster? Of course, they have no experience compared to the other people. So I think there are a lot of issues in how we can improve the operators, operation, and also how we can cooperate, like the first case, how can we operate with the US or this kind of thing? Because for the operator, of course, you can do business with the US operators, but to implement a global operation, it's not really an operator issue. I think it's not easy. So, any idea?
Any question people on the floor like to ask?
We presented the 2 items today, but invisible, you know, the common, you know, risk is if a country wants to attack a country, other country, it's common to the one of the potential way to stop the network features easy. In the case of number 1, also the country wanted to attack some other another country, they just, you know, advertise the route, more fragmented route. That's very easy. The second case is also, they don't need to attack the location database or something is important, you know, the facilities and the country, target countries facility. Just only plug off the wire, because the wire, you know, the very small making the network trouble makes the, you know, suspend the features of the mobile network can be. So the disaster or the system failure, so that's the, you know, the kind of like operators obligation, this responsibility to improve the quality, that's Obata sensei. But in the another perspective, like a national securities or something like the risk, the intended accident or something. So we need to think about how to prevent these unfavorable attack or something, the specific attack. That's the or kind of like invisible the second message on this session.
Yeah, actually, that's quite true. You know, first of all, these 2 cases are shared by the Japanese friend. It's quite ordinary and quite all the time it could happen. It's not only in Japan, in many other countries too. And the interesting thing is, particularly in the Taiwan situation, because there is a kind of a threat from the mainland China, right? And my question is, if in war, is that possible the enemy can use this kind of loophole to making the trouble for the internet or mobile connection? Obata?
Well, I think the answer at this stage is that it's highly possible. Okay. So, you know, like especially the first case, the BGP operation is I mean, it's stable with trust, you know. Yes. So without trust, it's very unstable.
Yep, that's
And when we have this discussion of like the new internet or whatever, it means that some people believe that they can make it unstable, and then that's why they want a stable one. Okay, so it's a kind of other way, the thinking another way around. The second one, this one is even tougher. It's very similar to cases where you buy things, equipment, and there's a backdoor type of thing. So it's much easier to have some people sneak in to the data center than really force an equipment, located in some place where it has a backdoor. So
Obata-san, maybe another cases can be happen as well, because in the case 2, if I'm enemy, if I collect the lots of the internal SIM card from Malaysia, 1,000, million, I don't know how many, and set the the radios equipment all over SIM card. If I want to do the break the Chonghua Telecom's mobile network, I switched on at once. Then, of course, the basement size has some limitation, but so if if I distribute the SIM equipment terminal, there can be making a flow in the proper way. Because from the network side, this is just seems that a lot of international customers coming in.
Well, actually, this one happened. It's not really by some foreign bad guy. It happened, I think, around 10 years ago in Docomo. So they were upgrading the 3G data network, okay? So, and then they're upgrading the SGSN. But unfortunately, these people were telephone guys. So they miscalculated the capacity requirement. And they focused more on the traffic, but not on the session side. So they implemented a huge number of SGSN for Tokyo, and then they were replacing area by area, okay? Because you attach a base station to the SGSN. So they tried to switch over, I think, some area around Shinagawa. I'm not too sure you know this area, but anyway, some area around Shinagawa. And around Shinagawa, I think the Yamate line will get dark once and then come up again. Dark means that detached from the mobile network. So because of that, so once they replaced the SGSN, there was a train going through the tunnel, and then it came out. So when the train was going through the tunnel, it lost all the connection. And then because at that time they replaced the SGSN, it means that all the connection were physically lost because of the replacement. And then when the train came out, of course, hundreds of customers, Docomo customers, were on the train, which really attacked the SGSN. And then it really made SGN unstable, and they could not recover that until they shut down all the SGSN in that area. And then they rolled back to the old one, which had a higher capacity in session numbers, but a lower capacity in the traffic. So it's technically not too difficult to cause this kind of trouble in certain areas, of course. Not nationwide, it will be tough, but in certain areas, this is possible.
Okay, if anybody want to ask question, there's a microphone. We only have maybe 3 or 4 minutes left. Before you are asking the question, I'd like to make a, kind of a summary of my comment in these topics. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I would like to have one question, okay. So to fix or kind of solve all these issues, the current government behavior is that punish the operator when there is a trouble, okay?
I know. Yeah.
And then what it means that
well, our government people here listen carefully, okay?
So now we are going to pass a new operation guideline that if the traffic goes down 50% per some case, then you need to report to the minister. And reporting to the minister is the largest punishment from the ministry to the operator.
Before you say anything, I have something to say.
So, but I don't think it will work. So, any better idea what you can do?
Well, actually, let me say that is, I know in the last several years, maybe 2 or 3 years in Taiwan, the internet resilience is really a very important issue and also very popular in Taiwan, and the people talking about it, media talking about it. But a little bit kind of my personally is thinking about why I like to put this resilience into the main thing of this TWIGF. Is resilience is a very sophisticated and very many different area, But as you know, because in Taiwan for several times, the people keep talking about is submarine cable issues. But I remember when I talked to Koji, I really want to let those of the internet people coming out to say resilience is more than just physical devices, just a submarine cable. Actually, much bigger. For example, you hear the keynote speaker from the, Paul Vexi. He tried to talking about DNS resilience. So resilience is a very sophisticated. If we are not really go through one by one, that is your resilience is very weak or maybe not complete. So that is the reason I during my talk to my Japanese friend, because they are ISP, they have mobile people. So I say, well, maybe you can share your experience to the Taiwan people, how the resilience is have a many different phases and many different possibilities. So that is I make a comment. So you only have 5 seconds. So go ahead.
At least I think in Taiwan, the authority and the industry, they are cooperation relation, not a supervision relation. Okay, I have an example.
Can I ask in the private sector? No, go ahead.
Okay. I have an example that when we promote the IPv6, there's one operator, they make a mistake when they upgrade their routers to IPv6. And that costs about 4 or 6 hours stop of their service. As I know, NCC did not punish him. Yeah, did not punish. Yeah, because this is a right thing to do. Yeah, that's my comment. Thank you.
Okay, I think this is a really interesting and lovely cases. As me, my personal in this internet governance, person. I really like to hear a lot of this kind of real cases because it's very interesting, and also no matter from your operation point of view, from research point of view, policy point of view, I think this is always good. So if possible, I will ask our audience give those panelists a big applause. Thank you very much.